Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Today might finally be the day for Palantir to hold above $20, and this is amongst everything happening with more insider selling news and some significant filings to take note of as well, and some more NHS news to build public trust. But it looks like Palantir today has finally stayed above $20, as I mentioned, at least as of this recording, so more than just getting out of right rejected there. Now, closing off the day above $20 is still something to look out for, and it's kind of important to see if you want to have it act as a support next week. And then also do note for this Friday, this is with Palantir outperforming the market up a few percent, while the overall indices are flat for the day, probably due to the positive week. So it's nice to finally get to see some outperformance from the stock. Now onto the news itself. And some major news in related to insider selling. Peter Thiel has filed for a conversion of 3.3 million Class B shares, which carries 10 votes, into Class A shares, which are 1 vote. But something to note of, most likely this is in preparation for those shares to be sold at some point, since Class A shares are for doing that. Now from the prospectus, you should know that the share structure of Palantir is F, B, and A, which have their own vote counts here. And in column 5, you'll see the huge remaining amount of shares for Peter Thiel. And yes, your eyes aren't lying to you. He's got a healthy more than 100 million shares remaining. So take with this information as you will. And in the other inside selling news, we get another small insider sell by Alexandra Schrift, who sold 4,000 shares at the price of $19.81, but still has 208,783 shares remaining. So percentage-wise, it is small in comparison, and that's the main point of these to take away from these two examples of insider selling. I'm not trying to say it's all doom and gloom here, but it is something you have to take into perspective and see what those individuals are doing. These are people still, or funds with lives outside of Palantir. So for your own risk assessment and investment time frame, do what you think is best for yourself. They'll do that, of course. So we'll see if this trend continues, and I'll continue to monitor the SEC filings on Palantir's website, also to see if there's going to be more insider selling happening. Now for the NHS. Continuing their attempt at getting more public backing and information out there, a new article was released today where they're expanding the use of its COVID research platform, Open Safely, and that's beyond COVID-19 treatments. This platform is developed in collaboration with the University of Oxford, and it was crucial in analyzing anonymized NHS data, and that's to identify new COVID-19 treatments and then prioritize the care that was happening during the busy pandemic. So the platform itself, when talking about access controls, is eerily similar to the rhetoric Palantir had in their article released late 2022, where they talked about their direct work with the NHS, but there was no direct mention, though, of Palantir or the FDP in this latest article. But I wouldn't be surprised, though, if there is collaboration, as you'll see later as they point out. Now, with the support of GPs and academic researchers, the NHS plans to allow these scientists to securely analyze data from the systems that these general practitioners are using, and that's without accessing patient-identifiable information. And then the ultimate goal is to discover new treatments, of course, for major conditions like cancer, diabetes, asthma, which I'm sure the public would agree is at least good to attempt to do. And this aims to support life-saving research for various conditions while upholding patient privacy, which has always been the name of the game for Palantir, and now, of course, is a very big part of what NHS England is talking about with all the backlash. So the platform will be open to new research applicants by 2024, and that's building on the government's Data Saves Lives strategy. That's the overall strategy here to improve health and care using data. So the initiative itself reflects also the NHS commitment to leveraging its unique global data resource of medical research. It's so big there, while maintaining data security and privacy, as they want to emphasize. Public engagement events, which sounds similar to the FDP, is planned to gather input on digital and data transformations in the NHS overall. And speculation alert here, just so you know, I think all this vaguely means they will be involving several platforms, which they mention, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're withholding FDP or Federated Data Platform, just saying it specifically, just so it doesn't sound more of a land grab to expand it here and not making it so obvious that they're trying to build that trust. But yes, no official answer still on the NHS and winning that FDP contract for Palantir, and being basically past mid-November, I'm not holding my breath here. And thanks for watching again for the Palantir Daily, and I'll see you in the next video.